Today, a machine taught itself to build a smarter machine, and it did it without any of us. This isn't a movie, it's a real report from this week from the people who build this for a living. Now, I'm Connor MacIvor. I sell homes out here in Santa Clarita. Been doing that 27 years, carried a badge for 23, been writing computer code since 1983, and I've been using artificial intelligence tools every single day since 2021. And some days I don't sleep. So when I tell you the ground just moved, I'm not guessing. I read these markets for a living, I read rooms for a living, and I read code. I'm not here to scare you. Fear is easy. I'm here to hand you the map to show you where you should be standing. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through some of the biggest things that hit the artificial intelligence world today. Each one, I will tell you who said it, what it really matters for your job and your family, and the one move you can make this week. So stay with me to the end because the last one changes where all of this is heading. Let me start with the one that stopped me cold. A creator named Wes Roth broke down a new paper from Anthropic. Anthropic is one of the top artificial intelligence companies on earth. Looks like they might even take the gold. They built a system called Claude. In their own words, they ran an internal model on a research job, a job that took 800 hours of work. The model did it for about $18,000 in computer time, and it ran the work 52 times faster than the normal way. Now, here's the part that matters. The machine is not answering the emails. The machine was doing the research that makes the next machine smarter. Think about a staircase. For 50 years, humans built each step slowly, one at a time. Now the staircase is building its own next step. Then the step builds the one above it, faster each and every time. And there's more. According to a report in the Financial Times, the National Security Agency, our top spy agency, is reportedly using the same kind of model for cyber attacks. I say reportedly because the company has not actually confirmed it, but the report is out there. What that means for you is every time you heard was wrong, every timeline you heard, when the people said big change is 10 years away, they meant 10 years of humans doing the work. Well, humans aren't the ones doing the work anymore, so the 10-year thing just got a lot shorter. What you do this week is you stop waiting. The artificial intelligence tools from on your phone right now are the slowest and dumbest they will ever be. From here, they're only going to get faster. So you pick one tool, you open it tonight, and you ask it to help you with, well, whatever it is you want to do. Now, if you don't know what to do, you can go ahead and ask it to help you do that. Now, when you do it, you learn it by using, of course, not by watching. So that's one. So stay with me here because the next one is going to be about your paycheck. So let's talk about some layoffs in that particular world of employment. A respected analyst named Nate Jones said something the news will not say out loud. He writes a sharp newsletter that a lot of smart people read. It's hard for me to comprehend most of it, but some of it actually gets into my brain bucket. He looked at the wave of job cuts being blamed on artificial intelligence, and he called part of it a smokescreen. And here are the real numbers. Meta, the company who owns Facebook and Instagram, cut about 8,000 jobs. That's real. A company called Cloudflare cut about 1,100 jobs and pointed at their artificial intelligence usage jumping more than 600% in 3 months. But Nate makes a point you need to hear. Some of these companies are having a plain old bad year, normal slump. And it's easier to tell Wall Street that a robot did it than admit the business slowed down. The robot's a much better story, and the story sells. I saw the same moves for 27 years in real estate. So far, so good. When the market turns, the weak agents always blame the market. The strong ones changed how they work and kept eating. Same pattern, but a new tool. What it means for you is if your boss says artificial intelligence is the reason for the cuts, that might be true, or it might be a costume on a bad quarter. Either way, the lesson is the same. So what you need to do this week is don't fear the tool. Become the person who runs the tool. The worker who can pick up artificial intelligence and get more done is the worker who keeps their chair. The one who refuses to touch it is the one who gets explained away in a press release. That's number 2. The next one is the secret almost nobody's talking about. So here's the one that the headlines completely miss. Matthew Berman, another creator who covers this world closely, showed how the very best builders are working right now, and it's not what you think. A top engineer named Boris Cherny, the person who built a famous coding tool at Anthropic, described his own work like this. He said he doesn't type questions to the artificial intelligence anymore. He builds loops. The loops do the asking. His job is to build the loops. So let me put that in plain English. Most people open artificial intelligence and type one question. Wait, then they type another, like texting a smart friend. The top 1% stop doing that. They build little machines that ask questions for them over and over, all night while they sleep. How far does it go? One developer named Peter Steinberger, you might have heard of him, ran up a bill of $1.3 million in a single month. He was running about 100 of these little helpers all at once around the clock, building software, 600 billion words of instruction in 30 days. What it means for you? Well, there's a new divide opening up, and it's not rich versus poor. It's the people who chat with artificial intelligence and the small group who put it on loop and walk away. What to do this week? Move up one level. Stop asking it one little question at a time. Start handing it a whole job with clear steps and let it run. You don't need $1 million budget to learn the thinking. Now, you need to practice giving a task, not asking a question. That habit is the difference maker for the next 5 years. That is 3. Now the part every business owner needs to sit down for. Now the part that should make every business owner pay attention. On a popular technology podcast called the Chief Executive of Palo Alto Networks spoke up. His name is Nikesh Arora. And Palo Alto Networks is a giant. They protect huge companies from hackers. He said his team pointed artificial intelligence at their own software to hunt for weak spots, and the machine found problems that, in his own words, should have taken 10 years to find. It found them in 6 months. So sit with that gap for a second. 10 years of work done in 6 months. But he was honest about the catch, and that part's the gold. About every one of every 4 things the machine flagged was a false alarm. It was a ghost, not an actual problem. And what this means for you is 2 things at once. First, the speed is real, and it's going to reshape whole job categories that just move and check information. Second, that machine is fast, but it's not always right. 1 in 4 times, it's confidently wrong. So here's the truth. The machine's brilliant, tireless rookie. It works at superhuman speed, and it lies to your face 1 out of 4 times without actually knowing it. What you need to do this week on that regard is, if your job is moving information from one box to another, you're definitely exposed. So add the thing the machine cannot fake, and that's judgment. The ability to look at a machine's answer and say, this one's wrong, I've seen this before. The human who can tell the real from the ghost is the human who's still going to get paid. That's number 4. The next one's sitting in your pocket right now. Let me bring this home to something that you're actually holding. So this week, Apple showed off a new version of Siri, the voice on your iPhone. Headlines cheered. Apple finally cracked artificial intelligence. It's about time. Well, but look closer. An analyst named Ranjan Roy pointed out this thing under the hood. The brain inside the new Siri is not Apple's brain. It's a model called Gemini, made by Google. Alphabet, right? Apple is reportedly paying Google around $1 billion a year to rent it. And the new Siri is shipping as a text version for developers first. The rest of us wait until later this summer. Ranjan Roy had a sharp way to explain it. He said Apple has a kind of curse. They make so much money selling iPhones, well over $100 billion in a single quarter, that they lost the hunger to build the hard things themselves. When the easy money is that easy, you stop trying. I watched this in real estate too. The agents who got fat in the good years stopped sharpening their axes. Their blades became dull. The market turned and they were the first one gone. We're watching that same repeat right now. What it means for you? Don't trust the shine. The most valuable company on planet Earth could not build its own artificial intelligence brain, so it rented one and put its logo on the box. What to do this week? You judge the tool, never the brand name. When a big company tells you the new thing is magic, don't take their word for it. Put it in your hands. Test it with a real task. The label means nothing. The result means everything. That's number 5. The next one's about who you should and should not trust. One more, and this one is about your own mind. You probably heard the scary headline. A big artificial intelligence company warns the machine could get out of control, even threaten humanity. Heavy stuff. The warning came from Anthropic, the same company that's at the top, the same company from our first story, and Ranjan Roy made a point I haven't been able to shake. Anthropic just raised $65 billion from private investors that pushed the company's value to around $965 billion. That's almost $1 trillion. And they have quietly filed the paperwork to shell seashells by the seashore, to sell shares to the public. So think about the timing. You tell the whole world that your machine is so powerful it might end humanity, and then right after you go sell pieces of that machine to investors. Fear isn't just a feeling, fear is a sales tool. The scarier the machine sounds, the more powerful it seems. The more powerful it seems, the more the stock is worth. It's prison games. I'm not saying the risks are fake. Some are very, very real. I'm saying watch who profits from your fear. What it means for you is when a company makes money from scaring you, slow down. Read the warning, read the box, then look at the price tag right behind it. What you can do this week is build a simple habit. So when a headline makes you afraid, ask one question: who gets paid if I actually believe this? If I own this, where's that money going to? Follow the dollars before you follow the fear. The one question will protect you for the rest of your life with artificial intelligence and with all the slop that's being churned out over and over again. That's number 6. Now the last one, and this one's where all of it's going. So here's the one that tells you where the whole story happens to be headed. Peter Diamandis, like him, hate him, you be the judge of that. But he studies the future of technology for a living. He covered a move down in Argentina, and it's a little wild. The president of Argentina, Javier Milei, is writing a brand new kind of law, a law that would create something called a non-human corporation. In plain terms, it's like giving an artificial intelligence its own legal standing, almost like giving a machine the rights of a person or a company. Why would a country do that? Well, to become the home base for artificial intelligence companies that want no rules. And it already is happening. A massive project backed by OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT, is set to build around $25 billion of computer centers in the south of Argentina. Here's the big picture. While the United States argues about how to control artificial intelligence, some leaders talk about the government taking a stake in these companies. Other countries are rolling out the red carpet. Come here, there's no rules, bring your machines. So the future of artificial intelligence may not be decided only in California or Washington. It may get decided by whichever country offers the fewest rules and the cheapest power. The machines will move to wherever they are most free. What this means for you? Well, the rules of this entire game are being written right now, this year in real time, and they're being written in places most people aren't even watching. What you should do this week, here's another one: pay attention to who is writing the rules, not just the loud voices on the news, the quiet moves in places like Argentina. They often tell you more about the future than the headlines do. So I'm going to bring it all together. A machine is now building smarter machines all by itself. Some layoffs are real and some are theater. The people winning build loops while they sleep, not questions. And artificial intelligence is fast, and it's wrong 1 out of 4 times. Even mighty Apple had to rent its brain from Google. Fear is being sold to you on purpose, and whole countries are now competing to become the home for machine with no rules. None of this means you lose, and hear me on that. It means that people who understand this early are going to win in the next 10 years, and that can be you. It's not too late. It's just the opposite. You are early if you're watching any of this stuff. I've spent 30 years watching things turn. First in real estate, then behind a badge, now in code, and the pattern never once changed. The people who pick up the new tool first while everyone else is scared, well, those are the people who are going to eat first. If you want me to keep turning this fire hose into plain English you can actually use, the kind that helps your job, your money, and your family, then subscribe. I do this every day, and I do it for regular people, not for engineers. And if you run a business, even just a household, you want a real human being help you put those tools to work without the hype and without the fear, then reach out and connect with me. That's the work I do, and I'd be glad to help you do it right. Let's be careful out there. I'm Connor with Honor. We will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.